Hi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good.
Hey guys,
Hi.
if you don't mind, I'm going to finish eating my started.
That what?
I'm going to finish eating while we're getting started. Anyone else struggle finding an example for contract being delegated on Wall Street Journal?
Yeah, this week was not an easy week again compared to some of the other questions.
Yeah.
I
just searched like. Oh, go ahead. I was just saying, like, I searched like delegated contract or whatever, and that one that Jacob was talking about popped up, and so I just used that.
Mm.
I ended up using a similar example, but I didn't like it because in the text it specifically said, like moving contracts of employment is not like a contract being delegated; it's a new contract and it's its own thing. And like it said, like employment contract can't be transferred. And so I didn't like it, but that's what I had to use anyway because that was just I'd search and it'd be like I'd search all the keywords that I could think of and it'd be like 2 results and they'd all be irrelevant. I don't think it'd be bad if we could use like Google, but Wall Street Journal is like just wasn't pulling up anything for me.
Yeah, I feel like it's so specific to a lot of different things, but nothing that like we actually need.
Well, in some things you'll search and it'll be like 800 examples and it's like super easy. And then other things are so specific, you just can't find anything. I have no doubt that they're on there somewhere,
Yeah.
but trying to pull them
Yeah.
up in a search, it's ridiculous.
Does somebody want to pull up that worksheet for when we get to that part?
Mia, I can grab it.
No, I have it somewhere. It just I can't remember if I actually saved it to
No, mine is not.
a specific place or not. I'm pretty sure I found it in my downloads once Jacob had it pulled up, and then all of a sudden it was gone. Like I didn't like, yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can pull it up if you go. Let me.
Yeah, but that's a lot of work.
I know. I don't have it saved anywhere, but I'm sure I could find it online.
I'm like 90% sure I pulled it up at one point. I
think we've all done one. I was glad the chapters were short this week.
Yeah, I did notice that. That kind of made me happy.
Hey, I go to the group meeting assignment on Business 275, and then it just says refer to the following assignment or the following page for group assignment, and at the very bottom it says template for group assignments.
Okay. Oh, hey, look at that. I found it.
Have you done one yet, Allison?
I can't remember.
What's this, week 5? There's 4 of us, but Ty dropped. Did Ty do one or did you do one? Do you remember?
I don't think that Ty did one.
I feel like we've only done 3.
Was it 2
Did
weeks?
we like not have one the first week or
Oh, because
something?
week 1, yeah, week 1 didn't have one.
So it's week 5 minus 1, or was there? Did we wait another?
Because this is our 4th one. You did the
Oh.
first week, then I did the second week, and then Jacob did the 3rd week.
That's right.
Okay.
Do you want to pull that up, Allison?
Yes.
Sweet.
Okay.
Did Jacob reply at all in the group text?
I know he like had an example.
Yeah, and he said, let's see. I'm pretty sure he said that would work.
Yeah, he was the first one to respond.
Yeah, he's like, yep.
Okay. Maybe give him do you guys just want to start doing examples and hopefully he hops on in a sec?
Okay. I can read mine really fast.
Yours, since you both have that one, he'll have that one.
So I basically, it's really, really short. This article was a transcript of a discussion by a few people who were discussing the filling of President Trump's cabinet. They discussed the different duties that Trump was delegating to others. I don't know. It was, yeah. Really, really short and not very.
You weren't joking.
Let me pull mine up real quick.
I could have done better, but I just did it, so.
Alrighty, so I found an article. So I found an article. It was entitled "Donald Trump Selects Exxon CEO Rex Tillerson Chosen as Secretary of State." Basically, I just wrote that Donald Trump chose him to fulfill a duty that was assigned to Donald Trump as he accepted the contract to become the president of the United States, and he passed on the duties of that position to Rex Tillerson when he selected him. So again, very short, and I know there's better examples out there. I just couldn't find anything on Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, mine was, so it talks about the article was the U.S. women's soccer team. You know how they're trying to get new contracts so that they're paid as much as the men are for playing professional soccer. So it talks about how they are still talking about their contracts, and they just hired a new attorney, fired their old one. So my example is, this article is an example of a contract being delegated because the women's soccer team decided to change lawyers in their lawsuit for higher wages. As the text describes, a person contracting to receive this performance is entitled to the work of this skilled or highly regarded person, be he or she a lawyer, ... One attorney cannot delegate the work to another attorney without the consent of the hiring party. In this case, the women entered into a new contract for services with a new attorney. Due to the complexity of this lawsuit, it is likely that the newly hired attorney and firm will delegate to his fellow partner and associate attorneys to help in this case with the approval of the women's team. This is allowed because the delegation is to other highly skilled professionals within the firm or contracted outside firms for expertise. So it's kind of a stretch.
Awesome example.
It's as good as it's going to get.
I wish we could have used a personal example, because my whole employment history, which I mean has only been 3 or 4 years, but I've worked construction, and that happens a lot in construction where my dad just took over in Jackson Hole that basically the previous contractor couldn't finish it, and so he left, and there was a bunch of litigation that went on there, and they hired my dad's company to go in and finish the cabin, stuff like that. So I had a lot of examples, but man, Wall Street Journal was just giving me nothing.
Yeah, it's really focused on the election right now, which makes sense why all 3 of you found one around the new administration, because it's all they have to talk about
Yeah,
for the next 4 years.
Exactly. What's up, Will / Rico / Jacob?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
So we just shared our examples. I'm sure they're all very similar. I did mine about Donald Trump selecting Rex Tillerson as the Senate or as the
Cool.
Secretary of State and basically delegating some of the presidential duties onto him.
Cool.
Example, because I'm sure they have very explicit contracts for the president and the Secretary of State already. So I don't think it was as much delegation, but it was the best example that I could find on Wall Street Journal.
Cool.
I used the women's U.S. soccer team firing their old attorney and hiring a new attorney, and talking about how the new law firm can delegate to other attorneys within their firm with the approval of the women's team.
Sounds cool.
Okay. You want to read yours?
Yeah. So mine was filling the cabinet. It was a December 4th article, and it was like just a full overview. It was basically an interview between all these people talking about it, and it just discussed the cabinet positions being filled and Donald Trump's reasoning for it. And so it was a good show of that he was delegating certain aspects of his presidency to these cabinet members who weren't necessarily, they're not elected members, but they are taking his power and spreading it out because he delegated it among them. So while they aren't elected members, they have the same powers, even though they weren't chosen by the people.
You explained that a lot better than I did.
I took advantage of the 25-word minimum.
I did. It was 32 words.
I think I rolled in like mid 30s or 40s or something like that.
Well, it was 32 without the name and the person who wrote it and whatever, but
Well, I had to explain mine in a lot of words because it's an example. It's a good example of a contract not being delegated, and I had to explain that it is being delegated.
Gotcha.
yeah.
Alrighty, so what's
Okay.
up on the worksheet?
So we need to do our example. I like Lexi's example because it's not about like the presidency. I feel like it's a little bit more solid and about a more like specific contract, I guess.
I agree. I think we could throw some curveballs too with like talking about like skilled individuals and like why they're allowed to delegate to other members of their firm where they couldn't just delegate that stuff to anybody. I feel like we could mix that into our question or something like that.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, like about like professionals and stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the link to it in the chat thing, so you can pull it up while we come up with the example we want on the worksheet. Mine's kind of long. Maybe I'll email this to you, Allison, and then you copy and paste it, and then we can tweak it to sound better.
Sounds good.
Gmail.
So I'm interested, how did you find that? Was that searching or did you just start going through like articles in chronological order or?
So I went
did you find
to, oops, that's not the right thing. Just like on their homepage, and then I went to, let me attach this really quick, and then I'll. Okay, I sent that to your other email address.
Okay.
Let's see, what did I do? So I went on to Wall Street Journal, and then I go under US and law.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I searched contract. So search contract. Yeah, and it was the third one on there. Went up 4 hours ago.
Did it filter out pretty well, like presidential stuff and like campaign?
Yeah,
stuff,
there's
or is
no, because your guys' stuff is probably coming up like pulling under the politics tab
it-
or
Mhm.
something maybe. So if
Mine
you,
was like under opinion or something. Yeah.
yeah, so if you do US and under section you do law, then
Oh.
it is like lawsuits or something.
That's smart.
And that might help you guys get rid of all of the extra junk that's on there right now.
Yeah. Okay.
There's like one that kind of applies about a news anchor. Counting up contractors is a tricky business. That one probably has something in it. And there's still only a few on this page, like 3 maybe, but there's 62 pages. So you could probably find something in the first 2 pages for other hard topics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I pasted it in the thing, the example.
Okay, so now you can read it and we can.
You want me to read it again so that we can like change
Yeah.
anything? Okay. This article is an example of a contract being delegated because the women's soccer team decided to change lawyers in their lawsuit for higher wages. As the text describes, quote, a person contracting to receive this performance is entitled to the work of this skilled or highly regarding person, he, she, a lawyer, ... and then in quotes. One attorney cannot delegate the work to another attorney without the consent of the hiring party. In this case, the women entered into a new contract for services with a new attorney. Due to the complexity of this lawsuit, it is likely that the newly hired attorney will delegate to his fellow partner and associate attorneys for help in this case with the approval of the women's team. This is allowed because the delegation is to other highly skilled professionals within the firm or contracted outside firm for expertise.
We can take out the last sentence about the other firms to make it shorter. I just want his question to be like a paragraph.
Yeah.
So we can for sure take out that. Let me pull it up again. And
I think you can break up that because there's a spot that says our example and our explanation of the example. And
yeah, you can probably just split it.
a lot of that is explanation. So you could honestly probably just cut that out.
Oh,
You
yeah.
take the as the text describes
And
sentence,
why that-
and that's the reason.
Yeah, because we do need an explanation of our example. So,
So you can take out the as
Just
the
like
text
the end where it's like-
describes and the this is allowed because and put that together at the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then it's only 4 sentences.
okay, so you want me to take out which one?
So grab as the text describes and drop that into a new paragraph. And then the very last sentence, this is allowed because the delegation, and put those 2 sentences we've pulled out together as the explanation. And then it makes the question only 4 sentences.
Okay. So I'm going to read this again without those and have you guys like think of it as if you're like taking the test, right? And you have to read the example and see if it would make sense to have like a question about it, okay?
Okay.
All right, so this article is an example of a contract being delegated because the women's soccer team decided to change lawyers in their lawsuit for higher wages. One attorney cannot delegate the work to another attorney without the consent of the hiring party. In this case, the women entered into a new contract for services with a new attorney. Due to the complexity of this lawsuit, it is likely that the newly hired attorney will delegate to his fellow partner and for help in this case with the approval of the women's team.
You can take out the one attorney cannot delegate the work to another attorney without consent, because that's kind of the answer as to why they can
Okay. Do you want me to put that in the explanation as well?
You could probably just get rid of it and it can be a wrong answer.
Okay.
Or we can use it to model a wrong answer, I guess.
Yeah, so
Get rid of
I
that.
feel like there's almost too much explanation in this. Like, I don't want to rewrite it, but I almost kind of do, just so that like we can have it
Oh,
like
that's fine.
just be an example, you know?
So then take
Just
out the one attorney cannot.
So just write out like the sentences like the basically explains like the women's soccer team hires another
Yeah.
lawyer and he and his firm will basically like be tackling the job.
Yeah,
And then
so
maybe,
like
So you can just leave the
Come up
first
with the-
sentence. So it'll read this article as an example of a contract being, I don't know, I guess it would be,
so we could just say like our article is an example of the women's soccer team. They are in a lawsuit to try and get higher wages. You know, I don't know that we really even have to include that they changed lawyers.
no, we can take that part out. So it can be,
Yeah, because the delegation is with the new lawyer.
right.
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
Yeah, so you
I feel like
take out the first sentence or the first part and just say, in this example, the women's soccer team is suing for higher wages.
okay.
So in this example, the women's soccer team has filed a law. No, I guess the women's soccer team is suing for higher wages. Read the next sentence. In this case, the women entered into a contract for legal services with an attorney. Due to the complexity of this lawsuit, it is likely that the newly hired attorney will delegate to his fellow partner and associate attorneys for help in this case with the approval of the women's team.
So do you think we should, well, okay, so first we should come up with what our question is. Because if we do that, then like if it's about the actual delegation, you know, if we include the part about the approval of the women's team or that he is delegating it, then it might ruin our question depending on what it is.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Here's just a thought for the question, kind of if you guys like it, it's great. If not, like who can the lawyer hired legally delegate parts of his contract? One answer would be he's required to do all the work himself. People in his legal firm or of the same other
I think I got like 3 words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your video was like, you all froze, and then I didn't hear anything. Try it again.
All right. I was thinking like we could do a question like who the lawyer can legally delegate, like it's like no one himself, other members of the firm. He wants like make people think about it from that perspective, maybe.
Yeah, so like if we did like, so you're saying, other attorneys, right, would be one answer because legal can have them help since they're also, authorized to do that sort of thing. And then, we could do like people who have no experience in law or something along those lines. And then like, he can only do it by himself since he's the one in the contract. And then, something else. Yeah, is that what, kind of what you're saying?
Those are good.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think one of the answers should just be no one, nothing, none. Because no matter what we do, he always adds one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
But he always
Okay.
So now we
I'm gonna
have
type this out and then I'll read you guys the question. Okay, this might not make sense. Okay, so who can the hired attorney legally delegate parts of his contract with the women's soccer team to? That good enough?
Say it again for me. You were cutting out a little bit there.
Can the hired attorney legally delegate parts of his contract with the women's soccer team to?
that works.
I like it.
Okay. So then the correct answer would be other attorneys who are like, what's the word? Not like authorized, but something along those lines.
Maybe like other attorneys at the same law firm. Or maybe other attorneys at firm.
Yeah, or like other
Yeah.
attorneys and like within his legal team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it necessarily has to be at his firm. You know, because it just says highly skilled, like when in your example that you gave me, it said that, you know, he's allowed to delegate to other highly skilled professionals within the firm or, you know, an outside firm. But I guess we could say within the firm.
I kind of wonder if it's different. I know this wasn't brought up in here, but this is just kind of a common sense thing. Like most doctors, if they took over like a patient's treatment, aren't going to like use that against someone. But I wonder if it's very specific who like can work with, because a lot of times, you know, like say another firm, the soccer league that pay them, or like I think they're pretty careful who they actually share case information with.
Yeah,
And
there
I
can't
think
be any conflict.
I don't think they bring in, like, I think most legal teams hand in house, like other attorneys in the same team, but I don't think they'll hire like wrong, but I think it's pretty specific who they'll share with. But I don't want to, because I don't think that was something that we covered in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we
Okay.
can do the same firms. If it's like a big enough case, sometimes it'll be like 4 huge New York firms all representing the same client. Like Microsoft has a whole team and like 10 firms ready to go. Or, but
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so the correct answer are
But I
just
just
the other attorneys within their same firm.
I think that's
Okay, so then what should we put for the correct answer feedback?
you can quote the text, that section that I'd use, the highly skilled services part. Because that's why he's allowed to. They're all in the same, like they're all attorneys. They're highly skilled in that field.
Yeah. So is that the part in delegation of duties where it says the person contracting to receive this performance is entitled to the work of this skilled or highly regarded person?
Yep. It's on the bottom of 151.
Yeah.
So that can be the correct answer feedback.
Keep losing my spot in this document. Okay, so it said, as the text describes, and then in quotations, a person contracting to receive this performance is entitled to the work of this highly skilled or regarding person.
Yep.
Okay, so wrong answer number 1. So for this one, we're going to put what? I can't remember. Like we had, random people. Should we do?
I think a good one
one
would
that,
be like they could work with anyone. And
yeah,
with pros and
like
cons.
anyone that they wanted. And then I think we should also do one that says, okay, maybe this might be too confusing, but if we did one that was like somebody from another firm, I don't know if that would be too confusing though, since it doesn't really talk about
I
it.
was thinking we could say they can hire anyone like with a doctorate degree because they're on this level of education, even though it's not in the same field. Which I think.
Oh yeah, so anyone
that
with like
might
a
work
doctorate
one.
degree, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, so wrong answer number 1 can be anyone with a doctorate degree or similar level of education to the attorney.
Yeah, that works.
All right, and then the
I think that's
feedback for
perfect.
that. What was that? Okay, so then the feedback would just be that even though someone has a doctorate degree, they wouldn't be able to help because they don't have enough expertise in the field of,
Yeah.
law.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Oh, what did I say to start that? I can't even.
So they're not qualified expertise in the same field as the lawyer. So even though they're educated,
Yeah.
it's not in the right.
Okay, so my explanation, even someone with the same level of education would not be able to help with the delegation because they do not have enough expertise in the same field as the attorney.
Mm-hmm.
What would be able to help with read the first part again?
Even someone with the same level of education would not be able to help with the delegation because they do not have enough expertise in the same field as the attorney.
I think instead of delegation, would not be able to help with the lawsuit or not be able to accept delegated responsibilities or something. Change that just a little bit. And it's good.
Okay. Answer number 2, we were just going to do anybody that the attorney wants.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also like the answer of no one because the attorney entered the agreement. That's a really similar.
Yeah, like it's his contract. He's the one that entered the contract and he can't have anyone help him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good third one.
Okay, so I could take out this last, but I just said anybody the attorney wants, no matter their level of experience or education. And just say anybody the attorney wants, or
It wants or trusts, so then it makes it sound like the attorney, it's his decision.
yeah.
Decision. Yeah, I agree. I'd just say anyone that he wants or trusts. And
Yeah.
then for
Okay,
the explanation, put like the person who hired the lawyer is entitled to someone of equal talent or
Well, they have
It's
to,
the
yeah, kind of like
original
to give approval.
Okay, let me know if I need to add anything else, but I just said the person who hired the attorney needs to give approval of anyone that is being delegated parts of the contract that they have with the attorney.
That's good.
Okay. And then wrong answer number 3 is just going to be nobody. Should it just be nobody, or should I add?
I'd leave just no one.
Okay.
He seems to shorten the answers. So
Because yeah, he usually does when we put a long thing. He makes them simple and short.
Okay. And then the explanation for that is that even though he's the one that entered in the contract, that he's allowed to delegate parts of it out if he needs help, or as long as the people agree with it.
it's a good reason.
Perfect. Heads up, guys. I'm at 8% battery, so I could just go at any minute now. But I figure we're close enough to the end. I'm not gonna go get a charger. I'm just gonna go for it. In power saver mode, so we'll see how much juice I can get.
Okay, so even though the attorney entered into the contract, he is allowed to delegate parts of it to others as long as the other party approves.
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay. All right, and then the one other thing, let's see, where was it? Oh, I'll just need the link to the recording, and then do you want me guys to send this out to you guys in case there's any changes we need to make? Or should I just submit it?
You're probably good to submit it. I don't think anything is.
You can submit it. Just send us a copy so we have it for our records.
Sounds good. Okay. So I think, we're not at an hour yet, but that's okay.
I think last week everyone's was like 20 minutes.
Yeah, last week was easy though.
Even his like hour discussion meetings, his class hour is
yeah.
they're rarely more than like a half hour. 40 minutes.
I always forget that he does those, and so I kind of feel bad for not going on, but like I don't really have questions, so like
I have work. I
I'm at
haven't
work.
really had one that I can go to yet.
And the
yeah,
ones-
sometimes I'm at work, sometimes I'm not. I just don't realize it, or I just got back, so I'm eating or whatever.
Yeah.
He did the video last week, so that was good. I was able to watch it.
I think 2 weeks ago he just forgot to link it from wherever. But
Yeah.
last week was funny. That one kid put his profile picture, I think, is like a close up, but then in the picture it like zoomed out and it was the Snapchat text. Like, notice that.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, that was kind of funny. I didn't watch the whole
I
thing
was-
because there was a lot of talking.
I was surprised he didn't, but it was funny.
I would have died.
I'm super embarrassed. That's a nice build.
Oh, the baby. I love babies. I went babysitting last night and they had a 1-year-old. He was just so cute. And he just like stared at me. Like he didn't even do anything. He was just staring at me. I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, his mom's making a bottle, so he's hanging out with me for a second.
Nice.
Oh, he saw you, Allison. Okay, so you just need the link from me?
75.
Yeah. Yeah, once we finish. One thing, in like 2 weeks, I think it is, I'm not going to be available Thursday night, so could we maybe move that to Wednesday? I can text you guys the date.
Next week, you said, or
Not next week. It's the week after, so the 15th. Well, the 16th is when we would be having it, but my family's going up to a ski resort for like the weekend because it's President's Day weekend. So we're like leaving Thursday afternoon, and then we're not getting back till like Monday night.
yeah, you're probably just gonna have to not go skiing.
I know.
I'm sure we can figure something out. It shouldn't be a
Okay.
problem.
Yeah, I'll just text you guys. So it's in 2 weeks, but
I can do Wednesdays, but it'd have to be like 8:30, so I can get the girls home from Young Women's.
okay.
So that's 7 to like 8:15, 8:30.
Yeah.
Move it to Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah, we can just keep talking about it, but just thought I'd let you guys know before, so that it wasn't just like, oh, hey, by the way, I can't do this. Okay, sounds good. I will send this to you guys when I finish up with it, just making sure it's all good.
Okay, and I'll send it right now.
Okay, and then I just attach that to this and then put it in the Google community.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
I think there's a place to submit it on iLearn too. So you put the link on Google Hangouts or on Google Plus Community, and then there's a link to submit it to on iLearn as an assignment.
Okay. All right, I'll make sure I get all those, and I'll let you guys know when I send this out.
All right, perfect.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yep.
see you guys.
Bye.
See ya.